this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to make a card, a similar card to the one on the packaging that we've got for this, the JND473, which is the holly frame or the holly circle frame it die. And this is a beautiful die that has a frame it in it, or a frame maker die that's slightly different. So I'm going to bring the dies in so you can see. What you've got this time is, this gives you a perfect double circle, and it's 1 inch all the way around. So with one cut you can get an absolutely perfect circle, which is virtually impossible to do with nesting dies, even when using template sheets and things like that. And of course, with the frame maker system, you also get 2 inserts in there. And again, these can be used within the frame, but can also be cut just in the card like this to give you a perfect wreath, or can be cut just one side with foliage there, which I think is on the front of the packaging of the hawthorn die, because lots of people have been asking. So in this die you get the 2 inserts, and these have got holly, little berries that punch in, and then a little sort of ribbon strip through it. But you also get 2 ribbon threads as well, and those ribbon threads give you a perfect mat and layer. So I'll show you a card here that I've made using just the inserts. If you can see, they'll cut in to give you a perfect wreath. Using different colours behind works beautifully. You can see here you've got that lovely ribbon strip, and you can just use your peel-offs or mini stamps to actually put a sentiment onto there. Really simple to do. So we're going to do this one. To start with this, I'm going to start with a piece of coconut white card. So I'm using coconut white and our Christmas green essential card for this. And I've just cut a square to 6.5 by 6.5 as it's a nice even piece. And to cut the wreath with the pattern in, we're going to pop the wreath on the paper, and then you're going to take the inserts and you want to cut all 3 together. That way it makes sure that you get them evenly. Again, your temptation from a lot of die cutting companies will tell you to cut the main piece first and then cut the detail into it. The John Next Door dies are made to such a high quality that that isn't necessary, and trying to do that, it will be very difficult to line them up. So they've been designed to be deep enough to work just like this. So all we actually have to do then is to tape that together nice and securely in 4 places and run that through our die cutting machine. I'm actually going to run this through, although I have got the piece already cut. So I'm going to run that one through off air, just so that you can see how that cuts and the fact that it does actually cut. So here I've got a piece that's already cut, and you can see you get all of that detail through, and you've got 2 little side pieces which are perfectly sized for putting that ribbon strip on. They've actually been, the ribbon strip's been designed to fit exactly, so you've got an exact place to put it. So I'll show you the die cut piece. So you can see here, run through 1 pass, pull that out, and every single bit is cut. There's only a few little pieces to release out, but every single piece will come out of there. So to make our backer for this, and this is what's very, very difficult just using circle dies, is to cut a piece that matches exactly that circle is virtually impossible. You have to leave dies taped together, make sure it goes in exactly the right place. Whereas for this, all you have to do is take that die, pop it down, and cut it through exactly, and you'll get the perfect circle. But it works anywhere, so you can move that anywhere around there. It's exactly 1 inch, so it will fit precisely, which there is no other way to do at all. Again, just like that, I think it looks beautiful and great for sort of making it almost snow globe cards with things hanging in the middle. So all we do is glue those 2 together, which I've already done either using spray glue or using something like a glue glaze. And here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some of the Pearl Dimension in red, and I'm going to pop this just to lift it between each little sort of ribbon strip, and it really ties it together. And because I've left that gap for you in the design, it means you've got completely and perfect even dots every single time. So it's genuinely so easy to do. So I just do one side, and then I rotate it round, and I do the second side. And all you would do is leave that to set. To actually, for the drops to set, takes about an hour. However, to get them completely sort of fixed in place and dry all the way through, then I would leave it overnight. So I do tend to do this when I'm using these the last thing at night, so that first thing in the morning I can put the cards together with them. But if you can see there, just adding that red really makes it lift. And again, you could put pearls or anything else on there if you wanted to. So move that to one side, and I'm going to bring in one that I've already got and that I have already put the dots onto. So here we go. We've got one here, nice and simple. So there we go, all done and dry, and you can see how well that works. So to make up the card, we're going to do this quite simply, really. I'm going to take a piece of card, and I've just stamped it with the new sentiments that come in this same collection. So this is JND473 Festive Swirl Sentiments in this beautiful font. And I've gone here, may your Christmas truly sparkle. I think that's such a nice sentiment. So I've taken and stamped my sentiment. I've then run it through with a snow embossing folder, just so I've got that little bit of texture. And on the back of my card, or my wreath, I've simply added a few little pieces of foam tape to work really well. So we'll just take our foam tape, and I'm taking those bits off. And I'm going to position this sentiment nicely in the centre, keeping the two sort of handle pieces at either corner. And that will make sense in a minute. So I'm going from lower left to upper right. We press that down, and I just want to take away the excess. So I'm going to use my scissors on a tilt so I can undercut off those four corners. Nice and simple like that. And we'll take those away. And then I'm simply going to pop that onto a card blank. So I've got a card blank here made in 8x8, and I've taken a piece of coconut white at 7x7. I've added a Christmas green mat at 7 1/8 and a chocolate brown mat at 7 1/4 inches. We're just going to add a little bit of glue on the back of here. And then I'm going to use some more of the foliage to decorate it. So I'm going to place that evenly onto the centre. And you can see there you've got your two little places there. And then that then allows me to bring in my foliage. So I've made up here some of the frost flowers. I've also made up some of the frost flowers. I've made up some of the hawthorn with the red berries. And I've got here some little pieces of the sweeping boughs. So the reason we've got these two blanks and we've left them there is it gives you the perfect place to put your foliage. So I'm going to take 3 pieces of our foliage for our sweeping boughs, and to glue these on I just put glue through the centre. That way we keep all of that sort of fresh springiness, and using that little place there where we've got the blank as a sort of key holder really. There we go. So I've got a little bit of glitter that's been popped on this one. I've got the perfect spot. I'm then going to take 2 more pieces and do exactly the same with those. And this way I can match exactly opposite at the exact angle. So here I've got one with a little bit of glitter on and one without. And we'll pop those into place just like that. So we're balancing it beautifully. I've then got my hawthorn with the berries. And I've cut these in chocolate brown so it echoes the chocolate brown on the back. So I'm going to use the 2 large ones in here. And I'm going to use an extra small one. I've actually got a spare one here. So I keep that little triangle going there. I'm going to take 2 small ones and pop them at the top section, just like this. And again, just glue through the centre. And I've made up some of the frost flowers. So I'm just going to flick the centres open so I get that real frosty look. And I'm going to have one large flower in this top right hand corner. I'm just going to pull out the other two centres. And I'm going to put two large flowers into there and one of the smallest, just like that, so I keep that little sort of triangular section going there. And very simply and very easily, we've made a really effective wreath card that's given us exactly the right places, an indication to put our flowers and everything, and a really nice one that just frames that sentiment beautifully. For more ideas, hints, tips and inspiration, why not visit the Crafting with John next door and Crafts 2 group on Facebook. Enjoy.